Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, November 6th. A nor'easter is in the works for tomorrow, and there's a very real threat of accumulating snow along the I-95 corridor from this storm, all the way from D.C. to Baltimore to Philadelphia, New York City, and even up to Boston during the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. Cold air is entrenched in the northeastern part of the country. In the wake of Sandy, we've been way below normal for the last several days. In fact, last night temperatures dropped to perhaps the coldest level so far in many parts of the mid-Atlantic region, in the mid to upper 20s early this morning. That cold air will stick around, and the storm will move offshore and be off the mid-Atlantic coast tomorrow. From that location, we can stay cold even this time of the year, despite the fact that the ocean temperatures are still quite warm, cold enough for some accumulating snow along the I-95 corridor. Here's the very latest surface map. Weak low pressure right now here in the southeastern part of the country, but it's about to get an upper level boost, and we'll show the upper level charts in a moment, and that'll set off the development of an intensifying storm that'll move offshore along parallel to the coastal region, reaching the mid-Atlantic latitudes tomorrow and then New England latitudes on Thursday. And from this position, the winds tomorrow and tomorrow night will be cranking out of the northeast to the north, and that'll allow for the cold air to really remain in place, with the very real likelihood of some snows up and down the I-95 corridor, including the real likelihood of some accumulating snows. This cold air has, again, stuck around for the last several days, and it's not going to be pushed out with this kind of a track that this storm will take offshore during the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. Now, right along the coast, in the storm-ravaged areas that got hit by Sandy last week, it's liable to be rain and winds, perhaps gusting up to 55 miles per hour or so. 40 miles per hour wind gusts are likely along the I-95 corridor. So it's a nasty storm coming, and this one has a very real threat of accumulating snows. Well, here's the very latest North American mesoscale model. The very latest 12Z, hot off the press here. This is the upper level map, the current upper level map, the current 500 millibar map here, and there's a very impressive wave here right over the southeastern part of the country. This again is about to energize this system and develop quite a powerful nor'easter for the next 24 to 48 hours or so. This is the current 500 millibar map. Now let's jump ahead to tomorrow morning, and here's the 500 millibar map for tomorrow morning. Notice quite an impressive little trough here, and this is where the surface low will be close to this position here, but very impressive energy in the upper part of the atmosphere. That's the reason why we expect a powerful nor'easter to develop over the next 12 hours or so. Here's the very latest model run surface forecast map for tomorrow morning. This is again from the 12Z NAM model run for tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and at this time the surface low is really starting to get cranking here off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Again, it will be an offshore track. It'll develop over the southeastern part of the country and then move offshore and remain offshore throughout the duration here, and that will allow for this real cold air to pretty much stay intact here, in place here in the mid-Atlantic region. At this point, the precipitation is just now getting underway along the coastal parts of New Jersey, and a lot of wind in the storm-ravaged areas along the New Jersey coastline and up through New York City. Now let's jump ahead 12 hours. And here it is, the Wednesday evening forecast from the very latest 12Z North American Mesoscale NAM model. This time the storm is really cranking offshore, cold air, still entrenched here in the mid-Atlantic region. This is probably an accumulating snow situation really now from D.C. all the way up across Philly and into New York City and ultimately into Boston. It could even be several inches of snow out of this, and we'll have to monitor this over the next several hours, but the likelihood is there for some accumulating snow tomorrow. Strong winds associated with it, at least 40 miles per hour along the I-95 corridor, perhaps 55 or so right along the coastline. Obviously, this is not good news for the storm hit areas of the New Jersey coastline, New York City. This gradually weakens and moves away on the day Thursday, and that actually ends up resulting in quite a significant pattern change. By the end of the weekend, we'll be quite warm, back to near seasonal levels. It'll feel very warm, but perhaps 60 degrees or so with some sunshine by the latter part of the weekend. But for now, the big news is that there's very real likelihood of accumulating snows out of this nor'easter, even along the I-95 corridor, all the big cities from D.C. up to Boston, later on tomorrow and tomorrow night. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com for some updates. That's it for now. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.